guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're here for the first time, please hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that each time I upload a new video you're going to be notified about it. And if you're returning, welcome to Thoughts by Luzinel. I am Luzinel, and this topic kept on ringing in my head, and as one of the means by which I get promptings and leadership into doing topics, I saw it as a need to get into it. Why do people commit suicide? And I think that this is something we should work on, we should talk about, so that we can be able to help it, because it's one of the ills of the society, and it has a very big impact on people's mentality, people's output, those who just see it, those who experience it, those who hear about it. It has an impact on them. And so I had to go into research. According to WHO, about 703,000 people take their own lives per year. This is very huge, and this is really intriguing, and it stands out as the fourth leading cause of death. So if you want to talk about cause of death, suicide comes as the fourth leading cause of death. We cannot separate suicide from mental disorder. There's no time where we can say that, okay, suicide happened outside of mental disorder, such as depression or drug abuse. Or we must understand that this phenomenon does not occur only in high income areas, but it also occurs in the ghettos. In the ghetto level, it also occurs there. I recently did a survey on my WhatsApp status, particularly, and I was asking why. I just pasted it on it, and I was like, why do people commit suicide? I needed answers for this, because one of the ways I do with research is I ask questions. I send the question to people I believe in and people I know that they can give me feedback on. And sometimes I just throw it out there. I'm like, why do people commit suicide? And a few persons commented. Intriguingly, a few persons commented and gave responses, which I'm going to be discussing consequently. I'm going to be breaking out their responses and what I saw from it. Someone said people commit suicide because of depression, frustration, and embarrassment. Yes, a lot of people go through many things, and when they are depressed, the only thought that comes to their mind is, let me kill myself, let me commit suicide, this world is not for me. And due to frustration, maybe they've tried a lot of businesses, they've gone into life, they have given it all, they maybe have been in relationships that's broken, they have been left behind and all of that. So they feel like this world is not mine. Some people commit suicide because of embarrassment, and that's true. Maybe they feel embarrassed about a lot of things. Maybe they've been embarrassed so many times, and they feel like, okay, so maybe I'm not worth it, let me just take my own life. And that's true. People commit suicide because of depression, frustration, and embarrassment. Another person said, let's get a little bit critical. It even makes you feel like your choices were completely wrong. You could have had your hopes up, and to no avail, nothing showed up. But another person said people commit suicide because of low self-esteem. They think that they are not good enough based on some mindset and standards that the world has put, and maybe their society and their environment has set. So because they have low self-esteem, they feel like they cannot be able to meet up to the standards that their environment has set. They see the need to take their own life. And this is true. But if you're out there, while I still go on what people are saying, I need you to know this. This is very important for you. You are worth more than diamonds. There's no need for you to ever feel like you're not good enough, because there are people who live life for you. Let me put it this way: who have that push for life because of you. And there's no need for you to feel low at some point in life, or feel like you're not worth it, you're not worthy to live life because of what standards other people have placed. You are worth more than gold. So another person's response said it's Satan's strategy to increase the population in hell, because we all know that suicide is like taking your own life. And one of the 10 commandments is thou shalt not kill. It includes thou shalt not kill your own self. And so somebody said this is Satan's strategy to increase the population in hell. And it's spiritual, more emphasis on that. And It says the enemy fills your mind with thoughts of worthlessness, incompetence, and drags you your low self-esteem. That means it amplifies your low self-esteem, gives you that reason to be like, no, 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 you're worthless. And so I got a response from someone, which is a relative. The person said because of hunger. I know sometimes the people really take a lot of things as joke. Somebody can say that some people kill themselves because of hunger. I think so too, because maybe somebody has been hungry for a very long time. They don't have food. There are places in the world where they are really suffering from food, and maybe because they have stayed for a very long time, they don't have food. They say, okay, why would I continue feeling this pain, staying in hunger? Why not I just take my life? And we've seen a lot of things. We've seen that people commit suicide because of depression, frustration, embarrassment, because of low self-esteem, because of a spiritual reason, some because of hunger. And another person will say that people commit suicide because of discrimination, violence, abuse, and loss of a relative. Maybe someone you love so much kills them. So the Romeo and Juliet story. You see your loved one dead, and you say, okay, since this person is gone, I should also take my life. I feel like so many times people have reasons why they want to commit suicide, and for them it's that tangible. We shall be we need to be our brother's keepers. And one of the things I noticed in that status, I pasted the status and a lot of people saw it. I was asking, why do people commit suicide? And a lot of people read the status, and a lot of people ignored the status. And I will give my own reason why people commit suicide. A lot of people commit suicide because they are ignored. Many people give the signs of these signs. They exhibit these signs, they show the signs that they want to take their lives, but all of us who are around them, we ignore the signs because we are not our brother's keeper. Study the Bible. Cain and Abel had the same scenario. One person will go ahead to kill the brother, and when God is asking, he said, am I my brother's keeper? Many of us, we are seeing people who are destitute, people who are feeling frustrated, people who are downcasted, people who are low self-esteem, and we amplify those aspects about them. You see somebody who feels very uncomfortable talking in front of people, and you push them into the point where they are more uncomfortable, and their low self-esteem is instead amplified, instead of finding a way to make them feel beautiful, make them feel better, and encouraged to be a better version of themselves. Many people commit suicide because we ignore them. We ignore the situation. You face people with such situations, and yet you just take it as a normal situation, but yet we fail to understand that this is an agenda. Just like one person said, it's an agenda of the enemy to populate hell. People are going through a lot. People have gone through a lot of depression, frustration, embarrassment. People have gone through a lot of discrimination, and people have lost a lot of people that have made them feel low. But where are we? We ignore them. You may have a loved one around you who lost a mom, who lost a father, who lost somebody, but the only thing they want from you is your presence, your comfort, your attention. Some people are not even out there asking for money. Some people just want you to encourage them, to be there for them. Not even saying anything, just be around them. But many of us, we ignore. Why do people commit suicide? Yes, they commit suicide because they are going through depression, they are frustrated, they are embarrassed, but the most thing that they commit suicide is because we ignore them. Now you may have a brother, a sister around you. Have you sought a time to sit and call this person? Have you found a way to say, okay, let us go out and have a drink? It may cost you nothing. Most of the time, the things that we can do for people, it costs us nothing. Take, for example, making a phone call. You may have unlimited credit, but yet you can't even make a call to one person. Now we are living in a world of social media. There are so many means. I think in my country, in Cameroon, you can go through Facebook free of charge. I think free mode, if that's how it's called. And so you can reach out to your loved ones, the people around you, for free, and you can reach out to somebody and be there for somebody, but yet we ignore. You see somebody who lost someone they love, and yet you cannot even reach out. I know sometimes we get busy with our own affairs, but each time somehow your mind will remind you of this person. That is an indication for you to reach out, but yet we ignore. We ignore people commit suicide because they are ignored. They feel like they are not worth it. Somebody feels like they are not worth it because the people around that person don't make that person belong. I feel like we even raise our standards above people, and because we can afford something. For example, I can get myself an iPhone, I intimidate the people around me and make them feel like they are not worth it because they can afford that. And then the more I keep on doing that, they start feeling like they are low, they are not up to something. Why keep on doing this? Stop ignoring these aspects. Be your brother's keeper. Be concerned. Love your neighbor. I put this status, and sometimes some people ask these questions because they are actually trying to commit suicide, but everybody ignores. Everybody like, okay, no, she cannot do that to herself. She cannot want to kill herself. People just ignore you. They just ignore you. You need to be sensitive. Notice when someone quits of something. For example, someone who is always available, and then all of a sudden you don't see this person online, you don't see this person talking to people, this person is always keeping to themselves. Don't ignore those signs. That's an indication that that person is going through something that you need to ask. You need to get into it. Some people even open up to say that I'm not feeling well, I feel so depressed, I feel so low, and yet you can't even find time. I feel like some of us should really find that place to be emotional, to be sensitive to people's feelings. And this, you're gonna give account someday. Many other people have gone through what you're experiencing and come out of it. And you out there, I want you to also know something. Yes, many other people have gone through what you're going through and they came out of it. Some people have gone through harassment. Some people have gone through abuse, domestic violence. Some people have gone through poverty. Some people have suffered. They have had no jobs for many years. They have been walking up and down, but yet they kept on, and they finally came out of it. Don't give up. Don't give a reason for your demise. Don't say, okay, because I can't do this. Somebody had been through it and they came out of it strong. So you too can do that. Also, as much as we expect people to be there for us, we need to be there for ourselves. We need to be there for ourselves. We need to be there for ourselves. Don't raise people's hopes. This is also one thing for other people. Don't raise people's hopes. Don't promise somebody something that you cannot afford. Don't tell somebody that I will marry you and you can't do that, because that will cause depression. The person will sit down sometime again to evaluate themselves. Is this something I'm not understanding about myself? Why is that this thing keeps on happening to me? This is to anyone out there. Live a carefree life. Let your life be an example. Don't promise something you can't give people. Don't promise people things you can't meet up to. I know sometimes we feel like, okay, it's okay to just say things. Even if it's as much as a franc, I'm talking about based on my country currency, or a dirham, 1 dirham. If you know that you will not be able to do that, don't promise me somebody something that you can't meet up. This is something that the person even will feel like, what did I really do to get to this point where somebody will even reach at this point and cannot do something for me? This is something we should look at. Don't promise people. Don't raise people's hopes. It is okay to live life a day at a time, rather than promising things that we cannot be able to meet up. Be keen to people's statements. Some people talk about some things like, I feel very low today. I feel like I'm worthless. Is everything okay with me? Am I all right? Be sensitive to those type of statements that people make and find a way to encourage them. Tell them. People open up to you because they know that you can give them help. Tell them. A lot of people go through a lot of things. Be your brother's keeper. Be your brother's keeper. And so I'm going to be reading a scripture to us. This is in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Verses 1 and 2. Let me just read verses 1 to 3. Though I speak with tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I have become sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned but have not love, it profits me nothing. This all centers to one thing. We need to love our neighbors as ourselves. That's what scripture tells us. The whole commandment centers around love. And we need to be able to give love to other people. If you love somebody, you will not ignore them. You won't even find a place to ignore them. And you can't say that you love somebody and then you ignore the little thing that they require from you. Love your neighbor as yourself. Don't ignore people. Don't ignore those signs. We are one of the reasons why people commit suicide, because we ignore them and because we don't show them love. No matter how you do whatever you do, but without love, you are nothing. You're just like a sounding brass. You get nothing. At the end of the day, you're just like nothing. That's what scripture tells us. Love your neighbor as yourself. And if you're out there, don't you feel low? Don't you feel like you're not up to anything? Don't you feel worthless? Don't you feel like you cannot pick up from where you are? Remember, I said this. Somebody has been through what you have been through, and most of the times these people have become great because they did not let their situations mar them. They let their situations make them, because the things that you're going through is like a stepping stone to who you are. And most of the times we fail to understand because we let the situations eat us up. We let the situations kill us. But meanwhile, we are supposed to make good out of the things that we are going through. Let me let you know something. You're supposed to make good out of the things that you're going through. I don't know what you've been through. Is it a failed marriage? 1, 2? How many of it have you been in? Have you been in a situation where you've been looking for a job for a very long time? Let me let you know something. If you do not have experience on something, you can't talk about it. I tell you this truth. You can't talk about it. Even if you talk about it based on head knowledge, to tell you the truth, experience speaks more. And you'll be able to understand from people's perspective. When somebody is going through that, you can be able to encourage the person because you have been through that. I don't know if it's relationships you've been in and out, in and out, in and out. You should not give up, because one day, your own situation too will balance and you will be surprised at it because you didn't give up. You did not give up. Don't feel worthless. Don't feel like you're not up to, because let me let you know something. There are people out there who are looking up to you, who value you. They may not be able to tell you, but people are looking up to you and they value. And then I want you to live life for these people and understand this, that you will give account for your own life and for the things that you do. And so if you feel like taking your own life is just the option, you allow the enemy to eat up the things that God has planted in you and let the purpose that you came to earth here go in for nothing. At the end of the day, you will give an account. But God has a plan for you, and his plan for you is good, to bring you to an expected end. The Lord bless you and make his face shine on you, and give you strength to be able to go through all of the things that you're going through, and to strengthen you and send you helpers when you need, and give you strength when you need it. The Lord bless you.